Hey there! So today we have another review. This is a beer from Pariah. Thank you so much for sending this one in. This is Tasty Tastes. Man, they go crazy on their names. Being produced out of Baltimore, originally San Diego brewery. One of the most consistent breweries to send me beer. I really appreciate it, so thank you so much. I'm really excited for this one, and we're not going to read about the tasting notes. 7.5. Yeah, there we go. Let's see this beer. Beer is really nice and hazy. Like a straw color. Medium plus full haze, but not kind of milky things. Or see a little bit of like, it's always nice to see like a little bit of like orangey golden hue in the glass instead of like a murky kind of like what do they call it, like turkey gravy kind of thing, So wonderful head, won't go away. Wow, look at this head. Hey, okay, a little bit green, just standard hazy IPA kind of notes going on. I get light malt character. A little bit of green hoppiness, a little bit of like kind of this like citra orangey kind of thing going on. Nothing too specific, nothing too thiolly. Cheers. Nice. Their house strain, I feel, is pushing a little bit on this one. I get a really nice kind of like theme on this beer is it's kind of like lingering orangey fruity character that's going in. And that's not necessarily from the yeast, but it's a combination of hops and yeast, sort of like accentuate a certain hop flavor. Quite nice. Let's tell the full story. Let's do it again. So I feel like I'm like skipping, like jumping to like page 75 out of a 100-page book, and so let's go from page 1. Up front, beer has a nice kind of smooth aqueous quality, not too chewy, chunky. It hits with a nice kind of like ripe fruits coming in. I get peaches, ripe peaches, clementines, ripe orange, a little bit mangoey, a little bit sticky. Bright fruit. So despite the upfront being sort of like aqueous and really nice drinking, it does hit with a little bit of body towards the middle with those fruity characteristics. It is a little bit sticky, kind of residual sweetness, so it definitely has a residual character to it. Like there is some sugar left in the beer. Hazy IPA, you definitely want to do that. Help body and all that stuff. Yeah, it helps like body, lingering character. We want to finish these beers at high gravity than like a West Coast beer, because the goal is like to have a fuller beer that's hazy IPA, right? Versus like a clean, dry, lean, kind of like mean kind of a West Coast IPA. Like these are fatter beers, right? Or fatter, not fatter, or leaner. So bitterness is pretty low. Very tasty, very drinkable. A very drinkable beer. I like that it has a. So what this beer does is that what I miss from a lot of hazy IPAs, a big thing, it doesn't have the big chalkiness and the big polyphenol green thing. Like it doesn't have that. The other thing is that this beer leans how I think a lot of hazy IPAs used to taste, where they play the game of being lean up front but also full bodied, right? Like you drink it and you're like, oh, this is drinkable, but then it pulls some fullness to it, right? Like you play that game where it's like a drinkable but hazy IPA, sort of what like, again, we're sitting at like, hazy IPA sits at like 6.5, in general, I would argue like hazy IPA sits around 7 to 8%, right? This is 6.5 to 8%. That's a solid range. These are bigger beers, but their ability to be drinkable and chunky at the same time is like what you want to pull for, because I feel a lot of the beer, the most like the modern IPAs are just sludgy and green and chalky, and they're just like they're like it's literally trying to drink, like choking down. What's a good example? Like grass juice, or like they're undrinkable, not that, but like this beer plays a game. Yeah, nice. And there's something about their, Yeah, it's a water treatment. There's definitely a little bit plasticky that I'm getting, like that kind of like chalky thing, but it's completely fine. Like it's still a really tasty, hazy IPA. So let's look into the label. Cross-continental. So they're combining American hops with Galaxy, ripe pineapple, tangerine sorbet, earthy citrus, gentle bitterness, cleans the palate, fluffy malt. See, this one is a good label. Like that is, I would call all those, and I agree with all those. So that is a freaking fantastic beer. Super drinkable, great fruit characteristics. As you drink more, it's like a really nice complexity. I get like star fruit, kiwi, the pineapple they're talking about, tangerine sorbet, right? Yeah, like it's got all the fruits going on. It's really fun. It's got a lot of stuff going on. It's a lean, light kind of malt bill, and then rare on bitterness, like light on bitterness, and then just like a little bit of chalkiness going on, water treatment going on. So that's really good. That's a solid 96. That's a solid 96. I will say the beer is very kind of like I think for a lot of people this is a detractor for how thin it is. For me, it's at a great place. I might change rating. If I was out and I had a pint of a 7.5% beer, I wouldn't be mad and I'd get destroyed by it. So that gets a 97 minus. 97 minus. I hope you know what you mean, because there's people that are serving, pints of beer, like a full shaker pint at 7.5%, which is again like I mean this is reasonable-ish, but and this would be trouble if I had to drink the shaker pint. Now I prefer to drink this at like 12 ounces, but still very good. 97 minus is a great score. That's a very, very, very good score. Tasty taste. Pariah, crush it. Until next time, cheers later.